So thank you, Sherry, for inviting us, and also for Nabila, Arifa, and Imran for looking after me so well, and all of us here today. I know the weather is perfect because we think in Pakistan that rain brings a lot of luck. So let's assume this is a very lucky day. I'm so excited to be here because not only is this room full of vibrant, successful, budding, and existing entrepreneurs, but there's so many women here, which is just fabulous to see. And although I'm not meaning to criticize the men for showing up, it's always a delight to see more and more women get involved in business. And although one of our audience members was saying earlier that there is sort of a time period and certain barriers, such as a woman's reproductive cycle, the fact is with mompreneurs, and we met a great one earlier, Filza, and virtual businesses, which is one of my great passions. Now, not only can women any part of the world work anytime with flexi time and so forth, in the West, women virtual businesses have been such a gold mine for women because they can take their kids to school, they can then get together, and they can even have no overhead of an office. They can just have meetings in Starbucks or whatever you need. But in Pakistan, this has become one of the greatest and most exciting things. So before I begin with the slides, I just thought I'd mention that with the law and order situation, which no one's mentioned here, the cultural situation, because those of us on the ground know, and the electricity situation. In Karachi, we have no electricity for 8 hours a day, every day. It's kind of virtual businesses rule for men and women entrepreneurs. And not only do they free people from putting together businesses in any part of the world with each other, so an American male or female entrepreneur can pair up with an entrepreneur equivalent in Pakistan, not just as a mentor, but as an equal, building businesses together through virtual businesses. And if you're worried that some families are a little bit nervous, with virtual businesses, a daughter doesn't have to leave the home. A wife doesn't have to leave the child. And if enough money's brought in, believe you me, the men in the household are the first to be the cheerleader. You'll find that if money's coming, that the whole family, I know businesses where husbands have stopped their other jobs to help with the businesses the wives are doing because they're doing so well. So ultimately, there's great times ahead and a lot of opportunities. So to begin with, I guess we'll just begin with an overview. Okay, so we'll just summarize this on each slide. So this is the reality on ground. Close to 100,000 enterprises in the MSC sector are owned and managed by women entrepreneurs in urban areas alone. Around 13,000 of these are going to graduate to small, medium enterprises. These are real numbers. This is the reality. And
is that specific to Pakistan?
Yes, absolutely. If you want to talk about other countries, China. Who's the richest person in China? A woman. Who's the second richest person in China? A woman. In Pakistan, we're getting there by large and large numbers. These 100,000 enterprises are actually making a transition to small, medium-sized businesses. And although, as Sherry pointed out earlier, the realities are not only do a lot of microfinance businesses fail, period, the transition to SME is really, really challenging. Our primary work is actually with urban, middle-class professional women and helping them transition to entrepreneurs because they have an over 90% chance of success. Do you see that number? Over 90%. Because they've already worked. They're not somebody in a rural area you're finding and saying, here's 5,000 rupees, now change your life. And it does work. But now you're finding people who are like you all, working at a bank, working at a multinational, working in a marketing department, working in a bakery, and saying, you know what? Why don't you try and do this on your own? Not only does that give you more opportunities, that's actually going to give you more income. And as you know, with income comes a lot more power. And power can be a source of happiness. So. Okay, so now we'll look at what comes next. This is the realities, this is a snapshot of Pakistan today. The average woman entrepreneur is between the ages of 20 and 49 years old, has a graduate vocational degree, is computer literate, has 1 to 2 children. The average woman working in Pakistan has children. This is not just the women before they get married working. The average woman has, they actually see the environment as quite favorable. You want to hear something kind of wonderful? Countries in the West talk about pay inequality. How many of you have heard that? Glass ceilings, pay inequality, the buzzwords.
Yes.
Guess what? It doesn't exist in Pakistan. It doesn't occur to people in Pakistan. There may be very few women in positions of power. Of course, we've had a prime minister twice, way before most Western countries. But ideally and actually, the women who rise, however few they are, actually get paid equally to men and are quite favored in other ways. So we've been very blessed this past year to become nominating partner for USAID and 10,000 Women Program, and now Sherry Blair Foundation, Google Foundation. One place we're become nominating partners for is the Women's Forum in France, which I'm sure Sherry will meet a lot of people when she goes to Paris. And the first thing they told me when we had these little meetings about how to get Pakistan involved is it takes 15 years for a woman in France to figure out she's not going to get that top job. So she'll take the best company, she'll give 15 years of her life, she'll be so excited she got the best marks in school, she got the best bank, the best company. She'll work for 15 years before the penny really drops that she actually won't go any further. Not only is this not the case in Pakistan, the women who are rising to the top. Those women who get there have actually equal pay to the men who are in those positions. So there may be 5 women in top positions in finance rather than 500, but those 5 women are being paid the same as men. And because of government and international policies such as 30% of seats in parliament, now women on boards and other things, those women are going to get appointed to everything and open doors, hopefully, to other women. So it's very, very cool. It's something I'm very proud of in Pakistan, that you know that if you work somewhere, there's no end to how far you can rise. Okay, so let's go back. Family health. Cherie and I think it was Sabra spoke about the importance of family health. Now with family health, this is something at one of our conferences. We now get about 700 people coming out to our conferences. And I tell you, one of the things that they ask in the audience is, how do I do this? Is it really that important that my family supports me? And you'll get some panelists saying, you know what, you can't even think about it without your family because there's so many barriers, there's so many problems in life. Just convince your family somehow. You're going to get other panelists who are going to say, if this is your dream, you make it happen, and the family will then support you once they see you making it happen. Because if you're going to trailblaze in life, you actually have to just take the plunge. Because how many people are actual entrepreneurs here? Raise your hands. Okay. How many times did you hear the word no, or that's not possible, or you're not going to be able to do it? Let those hands back up. Okay. I hear the word no almost multiple times a day. It's good that I'm not a good listener. But the thing is that if you're going to succeed in anything you want to do, you have to have a clear vision. So although it's really, really helpful, like the Christian cuisine example, similarly Melika Saeed, who's one of our brand ambassadors who started Copper Kettle, Hobnob and Nico's, said you can't even think about it without your family. Her very first week, the waiters all went to Okra and her family and friends had to bus tables. But if you talk to our other entrepreneurs out there, they're like, you know what? I just did it. I hid in my room and I did it. And we have a girl in Punjab running an entire computer software business. We have people doing craftsman stuff, and they're like, we just want to use our creativity in life. At this year's conference, and I've got some of these for anyone who's interested. These are our little conference giveaways this year. Nahid Mashkala, who has not only one of the top architects in Pakistan, she has 50 clients at any given time. Not only was traumatized as a child by friends and family, but by teachers who kept trying to stifle her individuality. She was drawing the pictures differently than the other girls, and everyone said it has to be one way. So the idea is that if you allow opportunities and you stop stifling each other and you're brave enough, there's no end. So family help is something women cite, but more and more women are are trailblazing in a manner that soon their family is supporting them after they start their journey. And that's a really wonderful thing to acknowledge as well, because all family wants is protection and security of especially the girl child. And ultimately economic security, whether it's through marriage or it's through business. And traditionally it has been through marriage, but if it comes first through business, the parents are still proud. And that's something to remember at every stage. As long as the child is safe and secure, you can really get a lot done. And you will have the support of everyone. Financial security driven. So many entrepreneurs come to us and they say, look, we just need the money. Whether you're a widow, whether your family's in a great deal of difficulty. And you know what I'm finding more than anything, now we're looking to create the first angel investor fund, but before that, women find a way. You know, if they come and you can't help them in one way, they will go to every single resource. Women are very resourceful. It's incredible. You think that they're going to give up in one angle. If they find that they want to do something, they will make it happen. And they'll make it happen in such creative ways. So that barrier is not necessarily a negative thing because it's a teacher. And it proves more and more how they are growing in those areas. Founders. Women enterprises, bless you. They're the founders, okay? You know how much pride, bless you. Do you know how much pride they have in knowing that they've actually started these companies themselves? And that is a whole sense of whether you're a mompreneur or you are someone out in the workforce who transitions, founding a company at any age, at any stage, is a baby in itself.